So Kelly asked me to speak about a few different things. I was going to go ahead and tell my story really quickly, just a touch on some pieces, because if you look at my story and you think about it, you'd be like, well, why would she even say yes to this opportunity? Why would she be successful? Because I had things stacked against me. Like when I said yes, as you can see, like in both pictures here, like I was a college athlete. One, I was 30 pounds heavier than I was my junior, senior year because I got into college, and when they say freshman 15, I was like, let's just double that up, make it even harder on myself. But I was just in a mindset where I just didn't know what direction, because you have so many things thrown at you. And so I was like, I'm the queen of saying yes to everything. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll be a barista while I'm in college as a student athlete. And oh yeah, maybe I'll teach some group fitness classes. And I just said yes to so many different things. And luckily I did say yes to coaching after like the third or fourth time. But it was something that I was like, yes, I'll do it. But I didn't have any like expectations on myself. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later on. But that's kind of how I got started. And you guys, I think some of you guys probably know my story because I've talked about it on other Diesel Nation stuff. But I'm going to talk about just some tangible things like Success Club and those things, and how to grow that team and coach sneak peeks. But then I'm also going to talk a little bit about mindset and just being like balls to the walls, like not giving a shit. Sorry if I swear, I'll try and keep it to a minimum. But like not giving a shit about what people think about you, and that kind of mindset, being able to be successful. So first off is creating a marketing strategy. This is something that so many people just don't do because they're so focused on like, I got to hit Success Club, but we don't look at the beginning of the month, this huge big picture of when I'm going to run things. So you're just flying by the seat of your pants every day. Sorry, not moving it. Mute yourself. Okay. But you want to make sure you know what you're inviting to. So like for say, like I started a boot camp yesterday, but I'm also starting another one on the 23rd of September. And then I also already know my sneak peek. I ran one last week, and then I'm running one on the September 20th. And each month I run 2 different types of sneak peeks because they both work differently. Everyone has different levels of like how long their attention span, or how long they want to listen to something. So something I do is I run Instagram sneak peeks, which is basically like another Instagram coach page basically. And so I'll do like highlights on there. I'm going to go to the next slide, and I'll talk a little bit about that coach sneak peek. But I also do one that's a webinar style. So basically like a Zoom call, and I'll have a couple of my coaches come on and speak because they have a different story than I do. But I also have like newer coaches who are brand new talking about the opportunity, and then some people of my veteran coaches. So they see different perspectives of someone along the journey, because a lot of people when they come in, they compare their chapter 1 or their first post to your chapter 20 or year 5 or wherever you're at in your business. And it just creates that like nostalgic of like, I just don't even want to start. I'm too nervous and anxious and all those things. So having other people speak on your team calls or your team sneak peeks is a super helpful way. So I kind of run them both. And if you guys have questions, throw them in the chat and I'll go through and answer them. But honestly, the coach Instagram, I think, is a really good platform because, at least from my clientele, we stray away from Facebook just because a lot of us only use Facebook for Beachbody. Like, I didn't have a Facebook really that I used until I became a Beachbody coach because every single group is on there, but I didn't use that. And so when I think about it, like I don't go and scroll Facebook as much as I scroll Instagram. So having a coach sneak peek page where you can just have everything on there is the best. So I do a 4-day sneak peek on Instagram, and basically I do, Instagram lives, 4 different ones, and then I save them and convert them to IGTVs so that they stay on my page. And then you can have them like recap to be on your feed so they can see like today's first one is my story, and I talk all about my story, why I got started, how I got started, all that jazz. And then day 2 is like incentives, like Success Club trips. You can hear about the fun stuff and like keep them engaged. So like incentives, Success Club trip, retreats, or whatever you do with your team. And then day 3 is money and tasks, because that's also another topic that people are really like, oh, how much money are you actually making? Like, is this a real deal or not? And then talking about the tasks that get there. And that's something I never did in the beginning because I was like, anyone can be a coach, like calling all coaches, anyone sign up. And then you get a bunch of like type B people that are just sitting back waiting for people to come to their lap. And you're like, wait, no, like this actually takes work. You've got to go send invites. And so I was attracting those people that were expecting when they weren't giving. And so now I talk about tasks like all the time in my sneak peek, because you have to do the task to be successful. And we all know that, like, we get it, but being able to say that and have the, like, I don't want to say balls, but like the balls to like actually tell people what you're looking for, rather than just like shouting out, casting a net for anyone. So I love putting money and tasks together, so you can show, like, if you want to make $100, you have to sign up 2 people, and to sign up 2 people, you have to send invites and do your workout and post and do all that stuff. So I kind of like to lay the framework, but every team's a little bit different of what you expect of your new coaches. I just like to lay the framework for them. Day 4 is question and answer. So I just do a question box, and then I go through and answer all those questions. I also will just like type in my own questions that I know if people aren't filling it out. Like, I know people are always like, what if I fail? Like, that's just a common question. Or what if, like, I'm not in the best shape of my life? Like, I just will put those questions in there and then answer them, because you know people are talking about these objections. And so go ahead and answer them. And then after I do that, I'll do like a recap on my Instagram stories and then save it to my highlights. That way that, like, people think in 15-minute increments, right? Like, we're so used to Instagram stories where like your day is in little 15-second clips. And so having those on Instagram stories rather than just a live video is also hitting different types of people's learning perspectives. So some people like short bits, some people want to hear the whole story and not be interrupted. So that's an Instagram live or IGTV. So you have both of those things. Okay. That is Instagram sneak peeks and coaching. How I hit Success Club as a new coach. So Success Club is just this thing that everyone is like, our entire world is like Success Club. And you think about, like, nobody that's not a Beachbody coach knows what that is. So like, Success Club, cool. Like, we just emphasize it so much. And I'm not saying it's not important, because it is so, so important. But there's different ways to like go about it rather than being so stressed about it all sinking month. Like, I can't stand to hear my coaches on the 31st of the month being like, I haven't hit Success Club, I'm not a successful coach. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? Like, you know what the tools are and you know how to make it happen. Why do we wait until the 31st? Like, from day one, when I decided I was going to go all in this, because it took me like 3 months to actually realize that, I hit Success Club 6 by the 6th. That was like my line in the sand, and my invites were extremely, extremely heavy in the beginning of the month, so that I could play the offense. You know, like when you're on defense where you're like, feel like you're begging people to sign up. You're like, oh my God, please. And you just feel desperate, and people can feed off that desperate like vibes that you're throwing out there. So being on the offense and like getting those first 3 people signed up quick and like being on top of your game at the beginning of the month makes the rest of the month so much smoother, and you feel like you can actually take time to not send like a direct invite and create a relationship with someone, so that maybe by next month you've created some type of conversation that you feel like you're vibing with that person, and maybe they're more interested in actually joining and being successful, rather than you like pestering them that like you need this to hit Success Club, because they don't give a shit. They don't know what Success Club is. It doesn't affect them, right? So that's just a way that I've been able to cope with all the other things I have going on in my life, like 40 hours a week, yada, 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 all those busy things that we like to say. Like, being able to be on top of this is so much more helpful to be able to help your team and be able to build a team and host sneak peeks, because you're not worried about Success Club. And another thing I did as like when I first got started was offer like incentives for the first 3 people that signed up that month. So I started this like back when 80-Day Obsession came out. So I'd be like, the first 3 people will get bands and sliders or something. And I would get them off Amazon and send it to them, because there's no shipping and it was easy peasy. And people were like on it because they wanted to get that something free, right? Like, everyone loves like a free shaker bottle, a free something. And so giving that as an incentive was something I did for probably about the first 6 months. Like, I don't still do it most of the time, just because I hate going to the post office and I just like hate having to think I owe someone something. But back then it worked super well, and that's why I was a Success Club 10 All-Star. Like, I haven't missed a month of Success Club once I decided to do it, right? And so that was just something I always throw out there to my new coaches. Like, think about giveaways or doing something to help those people build that trust with you and want to keep coming to your page. All right, here's some invites. I think everyone just loves to ask, like, what does a sample invite look like? So I have invites to coaching and invites to challenge groups. And this is different than a lot of people because some people just don't like inviting to coach, like to be a coach. And if I have the right person, I will 100% send this message to them. Like, hey, thanks for liking my post. I hope it brings you some inspiration. Are you on a health and fitness journey of your own? That is the same invite you can see for coaching or challenge groups. And if someone's like, oh yeah, I'm like really into this, that like say they're into Orange Theory, that kind of opens up the conversation of like, oh, have you ever thought about helping other people on a different platform to reach more people? Because if say they're a fitness instructor and they love teaching group fitness, it's like, well, you're only reaching that group of people in person. What if you reached these people on a virtual platform? Or if it's someone that's just like, yeah, I like going to classes, and just trying to open up a different conversation than just like, oh yeah, sorry, I already do Orange Theory. And then you're like, okay, never mind. Like, don't let them get off the fence almost by that. Like being able to have a conversation like, why don't you think about coaching, or, you know, that kind of thing. So I love talking about inviting to coaching because I can't imagine like if my coach didn't invite me, like where I would be. Like she never even offered like me to be in a challenge group. It was like, why don't you be a coach? Because you'd be really damn good at it. And I was like, I don't even know what that is, but sure, you know? So like, don't ever hesitate from inviting to just a coach sneak peek or like a coach info session, or just asking them, you should be a good coach. And then with challenge groups, it's the same invite I send, but if someone's like, are you on a health and fitness journey yourself? And they say no, I always say, like, you should think about joining one of my accountability groups. And people are like, what's an accountability group, right? Like, they don't know what that lingo is. And then you can kind of tailor it to the, here's some details and here's a free workout to try, and this is what my community looks like. So you can have that conversation rather than just ending it and like, you like want to join my boot camp, and they're like, no, then you're like, you don't have anywhere to go, right? So like having a question that like provokes some conversation helps a lot when you're forming these invites and forming these groups of people. Okay, this is my jam, mindset. This is like my part that I just get so fired up about. So I was thinking about this, and I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and if you guys listen to the Empower Her podcast by Keisha Fitzgerald, it's one of my favorites because it's definitely short and sweet. They're like 8 to 15 minute podcasts, but like the truth bombs she posts in there just like really I feel like I resonate with. So getting over the fear that you're not going to be the best person when you first start this business. You are not going to be Christina Delgado from day one. You are not going to be Melanie Mitchell. You're not going to be any of these top coaches, and you just have to get over the fear that, yes, you are going to suck. You are not going to be good. You're going to suck, and it's fine, right? And I think that's one of the things that when I got started was why I became so successful, is that I had zero expectations. Like I literally did not, like I wasn't like I have to hit Success Club. I didn't think I had to build a team. I didn't really care about hitting rank. I just was like, I'm going to go out there with my heart and try as best as I can. And what happens, happens. Yes, there's pros and cons. Like, yeah, it's great to have a deadline, and it's great to want to be able to move your business forward. But like, I think that was something that I felt different about a lot of my coaches. They come in and they're like, well, I have to have an Instagram that looks like yours, and I have to invite 3 people and hit Success Club, and I have to make X amount of money. And it's like, why? Like, you don't even know what you're doing. You're brand new. Like, stop putting those expectations that you have to be something or you have to do something, because it's only going to hold you back. And it's one of those things where you feel like you can't get past something because you're at like a standstill, because you're like, well, I didn't hit that goal, or I didn't do this, so now I'm just kind of stuck, right? So let go of expectations of whatever you thought you had to be coming into this business. So like I look at my like Instagram, and this was like, I started to coach in October. So like this was like before a volleyball game. Like I distinctly remember this. It's like our last tournament. And then this was like when I went home for Thanksgiving and Christmas time. And I just like look at this, and you're like, this is like a half-eaten piece of toast that I had. Like, who would want to see that? Like, that's disgusting. Like, I literally ate piece of that toast, and I posted a photo of it. Like, you are going to suck. So stop caring that your page doesn't look like Kelly's, or your page doesn't look like anyone else. Like, you're going to suck. Like, let's just be honest, okay? Put it out there. All right, done so. But this is something that I just want you to think about. And if you listen to Maddie Mehciz, this is what she was talking about. And it just was like, oh my God, like this just makes so much sense. So like when I get coaches started, I always send them the Success Club tracker because I'm very type A. I like lists. I like check boxes. I like to say I did X, Y, and Z. And so the Success Club tracker is great because you have a list of things you need to get done in order to be successful, right? And we think like, okay, I posted today. Okay, I posted in my challenge group. Okay, I sent invites. But then we realize like at the end of the month, we're hitting Success Club 4, didn't hit Success Club 6, which is like our goal, and we made $100, and we still probably end up spending more because of business fees or shipping, or you ordered something extra, and you're breaking even. And so change the mindset of just thinking about like you're not getting paid for doing those activities. You're getting paid for the end result. And yes, like I think it's just so like sometimes it's like twist my mind because it's like reverse engineering. Because like if you ever played sports, it's like don't think about think about the process. Don't focus on the end result, right? Like everyone's like as long as you're doing all the things in practice and you're executing super well, like the result of winning the game is going to happen. But it's almost like in Beachbody or in this network marketing, you have to think like what, like my actions are obviously going to keep that end result. But if you're not getting that end result, you've got to reflect. And this is something I personally like was like, but I'm doing all the things, and I would get frustrated. And so I like never stopped showing up, but I would get in mindsets where I'm like, well, this is going to be hard. And I don't know why anyone else would want to join me right now because I'm in a mindset where this is hard. So if you're thinking like, I'm not being successful because X, Y, and Z, like stop thinking of that and change it. So like, what are you putting in your mind? Are you trying to get better? This is something like, it blows my mind because coaches will be like, well, I just like really want to do this and I want to make $800 and I want to make $200, and you're putting all these things out there, but you're not changing. You are literally staying the same. Like if your photo still looks like this top one where you can't find the lighting, like this photo is taken within 5 seconds from each other, but one is with a dark window closed, one I opened the window. That is literally the only difference. And it was because I was like, well, this photo looks kind of grainy, or this photo is dark. Maybe if I change it and I make my page look brighter with brighter colors, it'll attract more people. So I'm changing my mindset of like, my page doesn't look good, it doesn't look like hers, and finding out why it doesn't look like hers, and then changing it and actually making the action, right? So I think we always just get so stuck that we're like, oh, but I'm using this person because I can't do this. And we're using them as the excuse of why you can't, rather than changing it and being like, well, I can't pay my car payment. I need to figure it out and figure out what tasks I'm spending way too much time on, aka probably scrolling or watching other people, and be like, I'm going to mimic what they're doing because they're successful, and we're watching them. And it's like, then I realize I'm like sitting here for 10 minutes like, oh, that's a really good idea, but I've just wasted that time that I could have created content of my own and learned it and then executed it. But we just get so stuck in watching someone, right? And so think about it. Like, it is now September. We also probably have a lot of goals that we wanted to accomplish back in January, like on our vision boards. Like, I look at my vision board and I failed at like more than probably half of my tasks by now. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not like slapping myself on the wrist. Like I was going to go to, like, I really wanted to go to leadership this year. And that was on my vision board. And I want to have my own retreat in Scottsdale at this perfect mansion. Those things aren't happening this year. And I don't care because it's pushing me, but I have to reflect. Why is that not happening? Is it because I took time off of not sending invites? Yes. Like, I'm human too, you guys. I'm not out here preaching like, send your invites and do this. Like, I am very, very, like, I have not done things that I should have done too. Like, and I get that, but it's being able to reflect and realize what those actions are that maybe you're taking off 5 days a week out of the 7 and I'm only taking off 3. Like, seeing where that comparison, and not comparing to that person, but reflecting. And so this also comes into play because everyone always asks me like, oh, how long did it take you to get to Diamond? And it legit took me 6 months to get to Emerald. Like, yes, I have coaches now that go Emerald in 24 hours because I have 24-hour Emerald calls. It took me 6 months. But people look at me and like, oh, well, Maddie's got it all together. Or like, it took me a year to go diamond. People do it in less than 90 days. People do it in a month. And it's like the way you hold yourself and the way that you show your confidence speaks thousands of words, right? Like people look at me and they're like, oh, she's probably already been an elite coach. Like I literally just hit 1-star. And some of you probably are on here are higher ranks than me. And like, you're probably at a diamond and you're like, what? You're only 1-star? Like it doesn't matter what rank you are. Like your rank does not define who you are as a person. It doesn't define your success in the business. Like honestly, rank doesn't really mean that much, like unless you're like 2-star or 5 or whatever. But like the difference, like I could be making triple the amount of a different diamond just because I am doing the certain actions to get there, right? And so it took me 12 months to get there the first time. And then in my second CBC, like my boyfriend's account, it took me 10 days because I knew the actions that I had to do to get there. And I knew the hard work it was going to take. But in those 12 months, I was like dilly-dallying. I was trying all the things. I thought I had to get the perfect coaches. Like you only need 8 coaches and 7 of them could be discount coaches, right? Like you only need one person else to get to Emerald and one of yours to get to Emerald and be a diamond. It's not hard. Like we get that. But that 12 months, I thought it was like literally like I was climbing Mount Everest. Like I thought it was the hardest thing ever. And it wasn't until I had that mindset shift that things aren't hard unless you were just constantly telling yourself in your ear, like, this is hard, this is hard, this is going to take a lot of work. It was until I switched this, like flipped the switch and was like, I can do this. I want to get to New Leaders Conference. Happens in 10 days. You have the control to make it happen. Like kind of going on to tangents, but just things that are popping into my head. And then something I implement on my team is the positivity rule. So if you have something negative to say or something that's like stressing you out, you have to say 2 positive things to your 1 negative. And so I always like, when I text Melissa, because I get frustrated, like I've had a diamond quit, I've had stupid shit happen, and I'll be like, I literally want to scream. And I'm so grateful for my team and I love this opportunity, but like X, Y, and Z happened, but it's fine because in the end, I've lost 30 pounds and I'm super happy with myself. Like being able to find the positives and the negatives, it's only not going to save your life, but it's also saving your coach or your other coaches and implementing that so that you're creating that positive atmosphere because that's what's going to drive your business forward. The negative emotions and I call it the energy bus, but are you being like, on the energy bus, like our Triller videos, like if you're having fun with it, it's going to be fun and it's going to keep happening. But if you're in your head about these expectations that you have to hit this and you're in your head about, oh my God, like I'm not where I should have been at 6 months, or I said I was going to be here and I'm not there. Reflect. That is like my key word here. Like reflect on what you're doing and realize what you need to do to get better. And if you have questions about that, like your coach is so open to helping you when you need that reflection. And I'm like very tough love. Like I have my girls send me their tracker and I'm like, well, I didn't see a call to action every single day. So I don't know why you dropped off that box, because obviously if you had a call to action, you would have helped at least one person this week. And like being honest and being accepting to that honesty, because they're not doing it to be a bitch. They're doing it to help you. And I think that helps with your downline if you continue that. So I think this is the last thing. So is your emotion serving you? And this is something else I was reflecting on too, because I've had moments where in my business I was really angry, and people usually associate anger with like negativity, right? Like you're like, oh, if she's angry, like she's not doing anything, she's super negative. But that anger actually fueled me to make Diamond happen in 10 days. Like that anger was the reason why I was able to do that, because I was like, well, F that. I'm not letting that person, and I always say bless and release. Like I blessed and released this girl who I was like spending hours and hours with trying to help her, bless and release. And I used that anger and that fuel to help me build in 10 days and attract the people I actually wanted to work with, rather than this vampire sucking energy person that took away all that. So my energy was serving me. And so I kept rolling with it and good things happen. But if that energy is not serving you, you have to reflect and change it. So say like positivity is just draining you and you feel like you're just giving out too much and not actually doing anything in your own business, change it. Find something that's going to help you be more productive. So like I said, stop looking at all the steps and focus on that end result and what you want to be, and talking in future like tense. Like I am an elite coach. I am an elite 2020 coach. I am this. I am that. It's going to help all of those emotions keep coming forward. And lastly, just like, I always say this, but in a world of millions of network marketers, which we know, they're like, you go to Summit and you're like, all these people are selling the same thing as me. And like, for a while, it was like almost a mind game. I was like, well, this, like, how am I, this person from the small town of Petaluma, supposed to be successful? Like, I look at these people that have been in it for this amount of years, and why me? But you realize that as long as you're being real and you're being raw and you're being different, like, just be you, like, literally just be you. Like, maybe you're not different, maybe you just feel like you're a regular person, but you're sharing your quirks and what makes you you, and that's what's going to attract your people, and that's what's going to attract you having a successful team. If you're trying to be like Kelly, or if you're trying to be like Emily Fauber, any of these people out there, like, you're not going to get the girls you want, and you're also going to have a lot harder time being successful than if you were just being crazy and weird. Like, I literally dressed up in my boyfriend's clothes this morning with a backwards hat on and drank my Energize and danced, because that's me. Like, I love to dance. I love to just be stupid, silly, and like, and I got so many people commenting. But like, every time I just drink my Energize and was myself, like, nothing, crickets, because people are like, oh, whatever, she's just like all those other Beachbody coaches that are drinking their Energize, right? So just be different, be you, and you don't have to put all this energy into that. And I get that, and I'm not going to do that every single day, but it's just fun to like get your team rallied up and feel that energy and feel that energy bus bringing you towards where you want to go, rather than getting stuck in those like vampire sucking people and letting that control you. So get rid of your expectations, get rid of your set goals that you thought had to happen by this date, and make sure you're doing the actions and reflecting on those actions to get you to that next spot. All right, that is all I got. Is there questions? I didn't even look in the box. Let's see.
Maddie, I have a question.
Oh. Sorry.
Yes. I can't see everybody. Hang on. Okay, there we are. So I've been like dying to talk to you for months. Actually, I heard you on a call so long ago about hitting Success Club, and I think you said something about like something about the 9th of the month. Was that something you ever set like a goal to? Like,
I have Success Club 6 by the 6th, and then Success Club 10 by the 10th.
And I heard that, I was like, I'm going to do that. So that got me months ago. And then came the Instagram sneak peek. And so I tried it last month. And my biggest question, I love all the tips you gave on it a while back and tonight. Once you've done your post, and I kind of did what you said, stories, convert to highlights, kind of touch on different topics for 3 to 4 days. So now those posts have been there, and I'm going to do one again later this week. Do you go back and delete and wipe clean, or do you kind of, again, put it in on the main feed?
I delete, so like I'll keep the highlights up there unless I feel like I did a better job, because you know, sometimes you feel like you got a point across better one video rather than the other, so I'll change that. But like on the actual feed part, I'll delete those and then just keep like the first post I ever did was like just telling about myself, like 10 fun facts or something, so I'll keep that one. But I personally think it's good to kind of wipe clean, because say those people are still watching, doesn't mean that they're not interested that time, but maybe this time they come around and they're paying more attention, or they're liking a point you're saying, even if you're saying the same thing over again, it might just resonate with where they're at. So I think just wiping clean and just starting brand new each time, as long as it's not sucking away your time and you're spending your time wisely, I don't think that would harm you.
Okay, I love that. So did you kind of save most of those posts and do you tweak them and repost, or do you come up with a new thing every 2 weeks, 4 weeks on Insta?
I don't know. I feel like it's hard, because I usually I have a script that I like to use. I can share it with you guys. It's on it's a Word doc, and I can share it with Kelly and she can post it if you guys want. But it's just my script of kind of what I talk about in my sneak peeks, and then I feel like I've done it so many times now that it just comes natural, like what I speak about. So I definitely touch on the same subjects, but with Morning Meltdown, I talked about different things than just Transform 20, with different programs, or in between launches, it's a little bit different. But I feel like most of it kind of stays the same.
Okay. And then last question on that, how do you go about, I guess you told us about your inviting, but do you Do you seek out people who seem to be using Instagram more, posting, sharing fitness, and go straight to them, be like, check out this page and give it to them to drop in and follow, or how do you get them to get in the page?
I think I do that sometimes, but I think what helps me the most is when I'm talking about it on my stories. And if I'm saying I'm like doing 8 stories long of me talking about being a coach or sneak peeks or whatever, joining it, every single post I do, I will tag the page. And I think that's where I get more people than if I just send a direct invite. And that way I also get people that I wouldn't normally ask to be a coach. I've had a lot of people that are my challengers request into that, and then they want to be a discount coach, or they're actually interested in the opportunity that I never presented them because I was a bad coach. Just kidding. But like, just like sometimes we're just like passive. We're like, I don't know if they would be interested. I'm just going to try and find that one person. But actually opening it up to everyone, but also sending some direct to those people that you're like, oh, that girl would be fire.
Okay. Love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you to, you talked about the tasks that go along with the different income. So can you explain that a little bit more?
So I think the tasks are basically the same for any income level. Like, I think the Success Club tracker sheet is like gold. I think it's to what extent you're doing those, and if you're doing them every single day, and then 10xing it. Like on the tracker, it's like 5 to 15 invites a day. Like, that's not going to cut it if you're trying to become like an elite coach. Like, just going to say, like, 32 is like my minimum. I said, and I just am someone that like likes to 10x, but I don't send invites on the weekend. So say if you're someone that rather send 20 a day, 5 days a week, that's 100. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It just has to be what your end goal is. And I'm sure everyone on here is like, I want this, but every season of life is different too. Like, say you have a lot going on in this season. Like, when I was in the middle of volleyball season, there wasn't much time that I was sending invites on the weekends during games. Like, it just didn't happen. But if I was on the bus that day, maybe I sent 200, and then the next day I didn't send as many. Like, it just kind of depends on those seasons. And I know those numbers can be kind of super scary. And you're like, I don't even have that many people to invite. So don't get stuck on the number, because it also happens to where you're at in your business and all those things. But you also just have to.
It takes you to send 200 invites.
I mean, I was on like 7-hour bus rides, so I had plenty of time. But 200 invites would take me probably an hour and a half, an hour.
So are you just copying and pasting something and just shooting it to like people? And then how many would you say respond?
It really honestly depends if it's like the first time I've invited them or follow-ups. I say it's honestly not high. I probably have like a 35% success rate. And I'm just someone that's like, the more the merrier at this point. And my things are so basic. Like, my invite is like so like copy and pasteable, but every single message that I have after that initial invite is more personalized to that person. And I always get emails. Like, after they're like, oh yeah, sure, I'm interested, I'll be like, what's a good email? And then I send them the same email, telling them about the price, what products are involved, everything they get, and then I give them the free workout, and then I send them a link to a Google Doc, which is like my order form, so that I have those all in the same spot.
And then, so these are all people that are watching your stories or that follow you?
Yeah, so stories, and then who follow me, and then people that like my posts, because I honestly think sometimes they're a little bit different. So like, people that follow me, like I think I have like 3,500 or something. And so like, some of those people aren't necessarily watching my stories all the time, but you can go through that. And I call it the ABCs, but it's like, you go through A, you just type in A, make sure you've invited all those people, go through B, invite those people, go through C, yada, yada, yada. Does that make sense?
Testing me.
I mean, I'm not going to say I send 200 every single day.
No, I know. I mean, I have 12,000 followers, and I have definitely not invited even remotely all of them. I wouldn't even say I've invited every person who's liked every one of my photos. So I'm impressed. Yeah. I'm motivated.
Okay, good. I'm like, I don't want to set any like crazy bars that I am like this superhuman person, but I think when I do find times of pockets that I have that extra time because I'm working so much and I have other things, like when I have time to sit down and do it, that's when I'll do a mass, and then I'll feel like I have easier times like doing more follow-ups in like smaller chunks, and I can have those good conversations rather than like feeling like I'm constantly sending the same basic invite, and then you still have to invite them over and over again, right? You know, like you feel like you have to send someone the same thing X amount of times. So
I just struggle because when I do have for me, a big day would be inviting like 20 to 30 people. And then I find that I like have so many messages, and I get a lot of responses on my stories. So I also have those messages. And then I'm like, when do I have the time to like, now I have to respond to all these. And the next day I don't have time to invite 20 to 30 again, or at least in the time that I have.
Yeah, totally. And I feel like everyone has those different times. I think something with that is just making sure that the way someone asked if I track, and like I track based on Google Streak, but I'm also not the best on that. So I'm also someone, like, if you look at my desk, I have like all these Post-it notes, and it's like, if I have someone that I know like is super interested, like I will just write their name down like everywhere that I can see, just so I make sure that that's someone that's like on my hit list almost. But I use Google Streak to track. So I do think it's hard. The follow-up messages and like those, all getting those messages back. But have you ever heard of Flume? So Flume is like basically on, I think it's capable with other things, but I have a MacBook, and so you can like do your messages on your computer rather than having to be on your phone typing. Another quick way that I like to reply to people is just doing voice message. So like I'll just like literally voice record myself responding to them, and I think that saves me some time rather than second guessing what I'm typing out and making sure it's perfect. I'll just talk to them, because it's like, that's me, that's real. And I think people actually benefit more from that than just sending like, I don't know, so I used to send just copy and paste more messages than just the invite, and then it's like, is that really her talking to me kind of thing?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Really helpful. So sorry, I have to keep asking you questions, but I'm always interested when people on the wake up calls say that they invite that many people, and I'm like, how is it physical? I just don't I don't understand, especially not that you only have 3,000, but you have 3,000 people. So that means you could cycle through those people pretty fast, and then you're just re-inviting them.
Yeah. And it's just so important to make sure that you're constantly following people and trying to add to your following. And there is times where I feel like I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I've invited everyone. And that's when I'll kind of make the shift to Facebook sometimes. But I usually, like I said, like during the weekends is usually not my time to invite. So I'm more of a 5 days a week that I'm sending invites. And then weekends I'm having more like conversations of getting started. And I think those are easier than sending that many invites every single day. I don't know if that helps at all.
Maddie, are you sending invites from your phone or Flume?
I send my invites from my phone because I have all my like messages saved, but sometimes I think it's easier to type on Flume like responses, because I'm like quick on the keyboard and I like that, and being able to see it all. Or if I'm like doing something else I don't have to be on my phone constantly.
Yeah.
So you don't have to change. So when I do an invite, I write their name in it. Maybe that's what is holding me up, because that takes an extra minute to go to their profile, get their name. Maybe I just need to do, I don't want to do, the thing is, we've always said like, we're not the hey girl team.
Yeah.
Just hey girl, join me invites.
Yeah.
So something I've definitely struggled with, in the sense that like, I'm totally comfortable sending someone that's watching my stories, but not as comfortable if they're not, I guess, with just sending the blanket invite. But you're doing that, and people are coming back with like responsive, even if they're not like a normal story watcher.
Yeah, and I mean, they're following my page. It's not like I'm, like sending those super cold invites. And I do go through times where I feel like maybe I did send them a hey girl, and I'm going around sending them another invite, and I'm like, this time I'll like make it a little more personal and I'll put their name. But that is something that's going to take more time. Like it really does take another second to make sure that their name is different than what their, like their handle is. And so like that does take time. So I don't think if you're trying to get quick invites, that's going to hold you back. But you also take the risk of getting good replies to sending hey girl, right? So like I think it's something you have to like play with, because everyone's audience is a little different. But I send hey babe, hey sister, hey girl all the time, and I get replies. So that's personally just how I have done it since I started 2 years ago. But it could also be my age group, like I just, it kind of just depends too.
Yeah.
But I think that does help make it go a little faster.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
So did I see, what did you say in 6 months you went from like recruiting 12 coaches to then recruiting 64? Is that
Yeah. And those aren't all working. Like those are other like discount coaches too. So I think that like to say that too. But when I became a diamond coach in October, I think it was like October 17th or something, I had 12 coaches and that was like it. And so I was like constantly like asking people like, make sure you order to stay active. And it was that stress constantly week by week, not knowing if you're going to be a diamond, right? And we call those like the shaky diamonds. And I was like, okay, I'm sick of this. And so I was like, how do I make it less shaky, right? And like, so I want to be a solid diamond. And it did help that like after I was like on a roll, you know, when you like hit something and you feel like you're just like, oh my God, I've got this down. And I was so fearless at that point. It was from a training that Lindsay Matway did with Christina called like, it was the Fearless Recruiting is when I hit diamond last year was during that. And like, I was like a $200 gift card if you sent 50 coaching invites. So I was like, oh yeah, like $200 gift card, I will do anything. So I got out of my comfort zone really from that, sending an invite to coaching and to a sneak peek. And so and it's weird because I go through phases where I'm like, I hit that high of number so quickly by just sending coach and like asking people to be a coach on my team, where now I'm like, I go back and forth because I'm like, not everyone should be a coach. So there is pluses and minuses because in those people, when I first got them, yes, I've had coaches quit, but some of them weren't people that actually were in it, you know, like there were some of them were just like people that like would say yes and then they would quit. Rather like now I feel like I'm getting at least 5 to 8 coaches that are like solid that want to do this or they want a good discount and they're staying lifers rather than people that were just in and out. So there is like, I feel like a balance between getting people and inviting them to coaching or just sending a coaching invite to every person. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, do you think it was a lot too of mindset? Because I think what I hear from a lot of people and coaches on our team and just in general is just, oh gosh, I just can't keep people on Shakeology, and it's even hard for them to stay on the discount. And I have a lot of discount coaches as well. So when I think of it, I'm like, I have my lifers though, for sure. So what do you think it was for you to feel more comfortable and confident with recruiting even discount coaches? Because we know that it could be like 1 out of 10 that really want to work the business, right? I mean,
yeah, it definitely was mindset. It was like everyone deserves this opportunity. And like if I'm doing someone a disservice if I don't just offer them and ask them, even if, I mean, there are people that I swear I've been inviting for 6 months and they finally say yes. Like those people I'm terrified to invite to coaching because I'm like, just say yes and say yes, like just go for it, you know? But then there's also those people that you're like, I should offer them just to make sure. And I also like, we went through this phase where almost every person just signed up as a discount coach for those first 30 days because you don't have any risk. There's no extra cost and you can cancel coaching within 30 days and there's no, you know, like ties to it. So I had a lot of people that way signing up as just a discount coach. And then they ended up, I would like ask them before the 30 days, I'm like, hey, what do you think? Are you going to order more? Like, is it going to be worth it? And most of the people would stay on it just because they like the community, because it's really not on a coach on our team, discount or not, you're not in our team page. And they felt like they weren't getting the same information, which is almost kind of like a FOMO thing, which they're getting information from our challenge group, but it's different being, we all know, like in a coach team page in the environment of the community of coaching. So that was kind of something I juggled and I had to play with because there's like also pluses and minuses to that. But I always checked in and made sure that one, they still wanted to be a coach and they understood that they'll get billed $15 the next month. But I had a lot of people just sign up just to see what it would be like for that first month.
Okay, so right away you'll sign them as a discount coach and add them to the team page so they get a feel.
Yeah. I'll put in the chat what I send them so they know like they're getting signed up as a discount coach. Sorry.
Yeah, because I think that's actually a really good way to get people more in, even though it's so easy to cancel. We all know that.
Yeah.
But it's like there's something about being welcomed into the team page and letting them know like we're all in this together. And there's a mix of discount and business coaches, but it's pretty cool how many people tell me when they're discount coaches, when I ask them, I'm like, I'm going to be, or do you mind if I add you to our team page? Because that's what I typically do. And a lot of them are like, sure. And then when I add them to the team page and they get the welcome from everyone, they're like, wow, I'm so excited. And I'm like, oh, you're excited? Like,
Yeah, and that's something you make sure that you invite them to the team page. For sure. Okay, sorry, I just found it. It's like trying to multitask. Sorry. Oh my God. Come on, copy and paste.
No worries. No, yeah, you are great. So we appreciate all the.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of long, but this is what I email them with their share message. And I have maybe had 2 people say they don't want to do that because they don't want to be tied in. But other than that, everyone would sign up this way. And the only thing is I do preface this with just saying if you know someone that you think they could be a really good coach and they're not ready for it yet and they could hit success starters, that's the only thing you're really risking with this is say they come in and they're a discount coach and then they're like, oh, I want to work, and then they can't get the success starter ticket. That's the only thing I've also had to worry about with that, but that's the only downfall I've found. So, everything has a risk and a reward. So that's the only thing.
Yeah.
Maddie, can I ask you a question really quick?
Yes.
So you talked about the ABCs of your followers. Did you go through them all and put them into your streak so that then you can look that way, or how do you know?
Oh, I just literally go.
You've invited versus.
Yeah. So I just go to my Instagram and then go to followers and just type in the letter A, and then it takes time because you have to go through and see if you invited them before, but I haven't done a streak or anything with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and obviously I don't invite I don't spend my time inviting guys that follow me. That's not going to serve me, or other coaches and that stuff. But yeah, I think it's the easier way to make sure you hit everybody and that you're not missing people on your page, because I did it wasn't until last December that I did that for the first time, and I was missing so many people, and then come February, a couple months, whatever you do now is obviously going to benefit you in November and December and those hard months. That's why it's so important to send those invites now, because it does take people time. But I hit my highest numbers in February when I did this in December. I didn't hit high numbers in December, but it trickled down to February. I think that's every question, if anyone else has anything.
Anyone else? And then if there is something that comes up, just message me, or you can probably message Maddie too. But
yeah, I'll put my handle if anyone doesn't know.
So do you care if a few of us look at your the Mad Empire?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I put it in there, but you guys can definitely request to follow just so you can see what it's like. I don't let every single coach so I have it on private so that I can pick who sees it. And I don't usually if I don't know who the person is at all, I won't usually accept them. But you guys are all more than welcome to just add yourself in, and they'll accept you just so you can see that format.
What is it called again?
I'll type in there. It's add them.
I had one more question about the Instagram sneak peeks. What do you do for your personally sponsored coaches? Do they just add people in there, or do they do their own?
My runners, the people that want to add people to their team, I encourage them to make their own. And even if they have 8 people watching, it's only going to grow, and it's going to help them create a sneak peek of their own. Because that's something I felt as soon as I decided to make my own coach sneak peeks back when I was an Emerald coach was when my business started to grow. Because when people see your face as the one that's leading a call or leading something or giving info, they think of you as the leader. But if you're sending them to someone, say you're sending your PS coaches to my call, they're well, why wouldn't I just sign up with Maddie? She's the face of this. So I think it's super important for my new coaches to try and, at least I always say watch me do it, and then we'll do it together. So I'll help them. And most of the time I help them talk by doing income, because a lot of them haven't seen a bunch of income growth, and then I'll have them do their own. So I like to have them create their own page so they feel comfortable and get used to talking about these things, because if you have 8 people, it's not the end of the world. But you get on a live call and say there's 30 people and you've never practiced before, it's very nerve-wracking, right? So I like to have them be able to practice in a small audience and feel comfortable with that, because you're going to have to do it as a leader.
Yeah, I've done it where this last month we had several of my emeralds and I split into 2 groups and we did 2 different sneak peeks.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Each did a video.
Yeah.
That way it's not just all me talking, but
Exactly. I think that's the big thing is that when it's like just you, it's just like people are like, well, why would I just not sign up with her?
yeah.
But you want them under your coaches. So it's like, yeah, I think it's good to get them incorporated. All right.
Awesome. All right. Well, you can.
Oh, yeah, you have some questions. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, shoot them my way.
Thanks, Maddie. You were great.
Right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Awesome. That was so good.
Fun to have the new energy.
Yeah.
New energy to hear from.
Especially because it's like, as you could tell from, I love it how she's like, everyone starts somewhere. And like when she showed a screenshot of what she was posting about, like her toast and her Shakeology, it's like, oh my gosh, but she just did it, right? And like sometimes you don't know any better and you just learn as you go. I just love that part. And so a couple of things that I want to make sure you guys are aware of. As a reminder, Nicole and I are working on a 5-day coach apprenticeship, and I kind of explained it I did explain it in our team page. So make sure that you go over there and check it out. And if you want to join it and you feel comfortable and join, or not just joining, but asking, anyone that you think would be a good coach or doing a few posts on it, just like try being a coach for free, because we're going to have them sign up for the 14-day trial. We're going to have a calendar for them to follow for 5 days. And we're going to give them tasks every single day so they can get a feel of just, this is what we do. It's so simple. And if you want to empower other women and work on yourself, be in a positive community and basically get results and share it with others, that's what we pretty much do and get paid for it. So of course, there's going to be more to it than just that. Like we're going to say, go to your Facebook page and look at some friends that you haven't commented on. Just comment on some of their photos and like some of their stuff. Maybe you don't really do that. And then now we want you to share just maybe a workout photo, but you don't need to invite anyone. And what I heard from another coach that I saw doing this was there's no, like, they're not scared to do that post because they're not inviting. They're just like, I'm so excited. I'm trying something new and I'm feeling good, having higher energy. And then what do you get? You get all these people that are like, good for you. Way to go. So we're going to give that a shot next week. And Nicole and I were saying, like, it's not going to be perfect because it's like, how do we know what we really need? It's a trial. So like we're still working on it and we have a guide already pretty much done with each day, but we just want to let you know, like, that's what you got to do in this business. It's like, you just got to start trying new different things. And hopefully this can help us as a team to bring more coaches in, not just for us, myself and Nicole, but for all of you guys. And then once you see how easy it is and let's see it's starting to work, we have the guide. You do it with maybe another coach, another one of your PS coaches, and then you do the same thing. So, but like I said, it's going to be starting on Monday, but you want to get people added by Sunday.
Yeah. Are we going to wait and accept people until Sunday? Did we decide on that?
Yeah. So what we're going to do too is we're not going to accept anyone because we're going to have them answer a couple questions. So that way we know like who is your coach that directed you here and what is your email, and basically saying like, we need you to sign up for BOD and explain that. But hopefully you'll know that, if you added them, hopefully you'll talk to them about how to sign up for the free trial.
Yeah, make sure that they know how to sign up for the free trial and they're already signed up by Sunday. And then we're just I think we're gonna basically like let everyone in at once and then do like a live video explaining how it works. So also let them know that even though you're adding them to the group, they're not going to be accepted until Sunday, so they're not confused. But another thing I'm planning to do, and I'm hoping I'm going to get it done because my mom might not come this week, so I won't have as much time, but I'm going to also do it so that you have an email to send to everyone each morning. Like I'm going to do this on my MailChimp so that it just goes to a list every morning. You know how like when you enroll in a course with Jenna Kutcher, every day she sends you an email saying, hey, head on over to Facebook or wherever it is, where the training is. So that just like gets people to actually go to the page. Because what I think we've all found in any of these sneak peeks is like people get added and then they never actually check out the page, right? So I'm going to create those emails, and then anyone, if you have someone in the group, you can send it to your person that morning or automate it with MailChimp or whatever. Or you don't have to. You could just send them, if you have one person, just send them a message. But we're just trying to create some more tools that make it this more automated. And like, I really liked what Maddie said about some people learn in different ways. So I think this will be good to have 2 different kind of ways to invite to coaching.
Yeah, absolutely. So feel free to add yourself. And then what else do we have? So we're still trying to figure out what we want to do for basically the 6 weeks of the work. Yes, it's going to be out September 30th. And I guess it's October 7th where it's going to be the trainer launch group opens. And then I know Christina's going to have an open like Diesel Nation one. So it just kind of depends. Like I'm kind of at a loss. Like I'm still going to be doing Morning Meltdown. Of course, I'm still going to talk about it and share it in my stories. And I personally am really excited for it. Like I want him to kick my butt, and I like want that like inner mean person to come out of me. And like, I'm excited for that because it's going to be so different from what we're doing now, but I'm not going to do it until I'm done with Morning Meltdown. I might start doubling up more on some days, just I want to do it as quickly as possible. But like I said, if you guys think we should do a team-wide kind of test group, then we'd be open to doing that. Or, you know, we could all just kind of do our own, or we can filter into Christina's. So once we get more of a feel, and if you guys want to give us any feedback on that too, what you think, let us know. And then besides that, just make sure that you're using the promo codes. So you should have gotten promo codes already for September. So it depends. If you got 3 sent to you last month, you used all 3, you would have gotten 3 sent to you from Beachbody. Trying to see if there's anything else that I wanted to.
Oh, I really liked on the wake up call what she said about the promo codes is giving people a deadline to use them. Say, if you can use this deadline, and it's not the end of the month, it's like the next day. Like you have 48 hours to use the code. And that just gets, because I had this case where I gave someone a code and they ended up using it, even though they said they were going to. And then they bought I got the points this month, which was good, but I never ended up getting my new code because of it. But if I had given them the deadline, they would have used it.
Yeah, I agree, Nicole. I've been telling people because I only have about 4 total, I think more, but I've used 1. I keep saying I only have, and I say I only have 2 left, even though I have 3, but and I say, you know, they're limited. I'd love to save you a spot. And if you'd like to use it, you know, you should do it by it. I'm giving a date as well. Because people are this month really like dragging on committing. I don't know if you guys feel that. I do. So it's not just you. We're all feeling that. And like Maddie said, her call was like divine intervention. I needed all that stuff to hear. We're not doing the wrong things. We're not saying too much of the same thing. It's really people are not open or listening yet. So don't stop inviting and don't stop sharing and being real, because people really need it now, and they're going to really need it in the holidays. And, you know, it's true. Set some deadlines and make it an exclusive code for people.
Yeah, and it's made me more determined to go all in with my results and be like, I want to show, like, I'm showing up, I'm doing the work, and this is what I'm getting. I think that is just, if you feel like you're in a slump right now, like get yourself out of it, get your fitness back on, get your nutrition on point, like do the carb cycling like Nicole's doing, do something that's going to be a little different, you know, to maybe strike some interest, or do the 3-day refresh, or I don't know if there's like something specific that you guys like to do when you feel like you've let your nutrition slide, but make sure that you're sharing that in your stories. And then that way you could say, hey, this is one of the eating plans. This is what I love to follow. If you're interested, let me know. Take this poll, or, you know, so just try different things, whether it's putting pumpkin spice Shakeology in your stories and taking a poll. Who loves pumpkin spice? Not who wants to try the shake necessarily, but just, you know, you have to just try different things. Maybe it's, you know, daily sunshine, and that might spark some interest if your kids are drinking that right now. Like I said, you just want to spark interest right now and get those conversations going, because it's the 10th. I'm currently at 0, and I want to tell you guys that because it's not always easy for me to hit Success Club, but I know I'm going to hit it. even though I'm like, oh my God, what? Like, hold on a second. How is it the 10th? Why am I at nothing right now? But it's okay. Like, we're all there together. We're all in the trenches, and people need these tools, our programs, and you have to believe wholeheartedly in that. So make sure that you're inviting, get those posts done, those stories done. And that's my plan for the next week and a half before the challenge group starts. So.
And if you want the carb cycling thing, if you go to the Google Drive and you go to free groups, there is a 5-day boot camp with carb cycling, and it has a full menu or a full 5-day menu with a grocery list that I created. And last time I followed it to a T. This time I'm modifying a little bit, but it's not like carb cycling as hardcore as in Autumn's or as in Ultimate Portion Fix. It's actually more like what's the peak week in 80 Day Obsession, that final week? That's what I based it off of. So I had really good results when I did that final week. The only week of 80 Day Obsession I did the nutrition was the final week. And I had such great results that I was like, you know, I'm just going to create a meal plan and then make it part of the boot camp. And it's great. I was actually even thinking I should do it before, like do it the week before you're going to do any progress photos, because it really makes a difference. But it also it's honestly been a huge reset for me, because I think we get kind of burnt out on the containers and the exact same plan. And so it's nice just to do something different. And like when if you're doing a free group, you're kind of, the free group is great because I always get people that convert to challengers or even coaches through them. If not right after the group, like months later. But it also, I think, just challenges you to switch it up. And like Kelly said, I think if you're not feeling motivated and inspired by Morning Meltdown or by whatever program you're doing and you need a little boost, then switch things up.
I just wanted to say that last month was really tough. It was really like pulling teeth to get people to commit. They were like all there, but they were not. They were completely dark. And this month is sort of starting like that. At the end of the month, I did a total gift with purchase offer to people, and like all those people that were sitting on the fence like came in and said yes at the end. So that may be the case for this month too. And I liked what Maddie said about make it fun. I like the, you know, whatever is fun for you in this process, like that will sort of reinvigorate and bring the energy back to it. Tammy, I'm having a lot of fun with Spirit Week. And I'm getting a lot of people asking questions like, what are you doing that's so crazy? And it has like very little to do with the meal plans or the exercise. It's just goofy trailer videos. So find the fun. That's all I just want to offer that, because I know it can get really discouraging sometimes when you send a lot of invites out and nobody responds, or they respond and then they go dark. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to add that.
What did you offer for gifts, Catherine?
I offered sample packs of the products that I have here. So I have Extra Energize and bars and Recover, and I put together like a kind of like those little packs they had at Summit in the little bags.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent those off to people.
Gotcha.
And then I found some other goofy like containers for Energize. It's like a disco ball with a straw in it. I don't remember exactly where I was, but I found those in some like dollar bucket, and I was like, that'll work. And I packaged that up with the Energize and sent some of those off too. But I mean, like getting creative and having to send those things out, sometimes that's what it takes, you know, and getting people in. One person, I think I couldn't understand the contest for the raffle, to be honest with you, for the Morning Meltdown, and like you were supposed to Venmo people $10, and I didn't get that. So I just told somebody, look, you sign up for this and you add the collagen, I'll Venmo you the $30, and you know, and one person was like, done. And so I was like, great. I mean, I only did it with one person, but I was at the end of the month, and there were all these people that were gonna do it and hadn't done it, so I was pushing hard.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You got to get creative. So, and I liked her suggestion was like bands or the sliders. But for me, like I have plenty of the Shakeology samplers. Same with Energize. Actually ended up buying Recover samples too. So I'm totally going to do that. I like that.
Yeah, I think I actually have an extra one of those disco balls, but they're probably in like the Target, you know, dollar section or something like that, or a store like, I don't know, like a Francesca's or someplace I'm with my girls shopping. like trail them around. But it was not an expensive thing, and it was like this round, fun little disco ball, and you put like 3 packets of Energize with that, and get people going. I've also like literally walked around and handed out samples of Energize to some folks that are like group instructors, personal trainers, all those kind of things this last month, the last few weeks actually, just to sort of push some of those products. And not that I'm expecting them to sign up for a challenge pack, but definitely get some of those products moving and start the conversation. I think it's difficult. I've had a couple conversations with personal trainers, and they're like really proprietary over their clients, and they don't want anybody talking to them but themselves. But the number one thing that everybody says is the nutrition is where their clients are not hitting their goals. And it's like, what are you doing about it? And they're like, well, nothing. I send them home and I hope they do their stuff. I'm like, well, that's good. That should work for you.
Yeah. Well, we are over 10 minutes, so I want to wrap it up, you guys, because it is late. But I love all the feedback. I love like everyone sharing what's working, because that's what is going to help all of us. And also know like we're all kind of in it together, but keep doing it on our team page. Like share like, hey, this is what's working for me right now, or this is what's helped me these invites. So I will definitely be doing that as soon as I like have the time to like do more invites and figure out game plan and what I'm doing. So biggest thing is follow up, sending those messages, and just being genuine, right? So this is going to be recorded and I will share it in the team page. Thanks for being on, you guys.
Should we take a photo?
Oh yeah, let's take a photo.
We have a good turnout. Wait, I guess I'm taking it.
I'm really bad at tagging everyone. Like I hate doing that. So
well, I can't see everyone. Is there a way to see everyone, or I have to go to both pages? Oh wait, I extended now I can see everyone.
Is this everyone? Seems like there should be more.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.